everybody. I am Taryn Winnie, and thank you for joining us for Urban Shadows Juneau What Darkness Costs, presented by Variant Roles.
I just double muted myself. Hello, that's me. I am Matthew Foreman. I am at Matthew W. Foreman on Twitter. I use he, him pronouns, and I play Peter, who is a specter and a former municipal land planner in
Are we
Juneau.
just getting me right now?
What?
The chat was saying something about, okay, we're getting Matthew now.
Yeah.
No? Good now? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just had myself
Sorry
muted.
to interrupt.
I just had myself double muted. So yeah, and I play Peter. He is a specter. He's a ghost, and he's not a very nice guy. That's all I'll say. Oh, my volume is way down. Is probably the issue. There you go. There we go. Sorry about that. I have fixed it. Sorry, I muted my audio instead of muting my mic. I don't want people to hear my click click click.
Matthew.
What about now? Can you hear me now? We all good?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Oh.
Okay, just making sure.
Sweet.
So, okay, I'll return that. I'm Max. I play Red Abernathy, both of us pronouns he, him. Red is a private investigator who is aware of the supernatural forces around him, and he feels very, very underpowered.
The beauty of Urban Shadows. Maria.
Yeah.
Hello. I am Maria. I use she, they pronouns. I am, as a side note, getting over an illness. So Kay is going to sound real interesting tonight. Speaking of Kay is they, them, non-binary. Tainted, who is also kind of wrapped up in something that I don't think they know exactly what it is quite yet.
Awesome. Nox.
Hi, I'm Nox. My pronouns are she, her, and my vampire character Daphne, her pronouns are also she, her. And yeah, it's dinner time. Nom nom nom.
And this week we unfortunately do not have Ty playing the lovable Brody, the Oracle, but we have a amazing replacement in Alexis joining us this evening. So I don't know if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I think we'll introduce you a little bit further into your character further into the narrative. So
sounds good. I am Alexis. You can find me at Vox Fanato on Twitter. I know that's not what it says down below here, but you've got me tonight, for better or worse. And I'm very excited to be here. My pronouns are she, her, and you'll see my character in a bit, I think.
Yeah, awesome. We're going to go ahead and do something a little different for I just blanked our session opener move. So one of the things that is used for, I've kind of we talked about before, is that helps advance playbooks so that the characters can gain abilities and that sort of thing. But without doing that, because we really don't want to further convolute the narrative, I changed up the question a little bit. So it's still who do you not trust, or who do you trust the least? But the question that we're going to be rolling on is telling us a weakness of that faction. So but yeah, so who wants to start?
Can you repeat the question?
I do, because I want to level up.
So who do you trust the least?
Oh,
Kay?
freaking Peter Poindexter, Mr. Stalker Ghost. That's who I trust the least.
Okay, and so you only have one faction unmarked, correct?
Correct. I have that wild faction unmarked.
Okay. Normally you would select, a faction to, or Max would select a faction for K to select, but since there's only one, so tell us a weakness of somebody in the wild faction or one of the members of that.
That is the only one I can't remember. Who is in the wild faction? Is it
Faye and I believe it's you, the Tainted.
Oh yeah. Okay. Um Now, should it be kind of related to what we have already established in this world, like the different
Yeah.
groups already kind of established? Let
Yeah.
me see if I wrote those down anywhere because I probably didn't. Okay. Well, I don't know if this is technically a weakness. It would be for Kay's particular family, but I think that the Dumas family, the rival tainted coalition in town, has become more forward in their dabbling and in their influence into the Belton family of affairs, the Belton family of products rather, and is uh, starting is kind of making things a bit trickier for those good old Beltons to kind of keep a semi low profile and kind of keep things the way like the deck shuffled in their favor. They're kind of doing like a 52 card pickup with the whole deck.
Gotcha. So basically, things are getting a little bit too visible for the Belton's taste.
Yeah.
So, got it. Go ahead and roll with Wild.
La 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 la! I have so much wild. All right, if you hear a loud thunk, it's because I'm using metal dice tonight. Total of 8.
Total of 8.
Big old 8.
Okay. So, you owe someone in the Wild faction a debt.
Oh, well, that's just great.
And they owe you a debt. So,
well, that's even better. Well, let's see. I think I already have do I have I don't remember if I wrote this down. Do I already have a debt with a member of the Dumas family who goes by the name of Todd? Because I know I scared him off at one point because he was snooping around our house.
Yeah, I think that came up either not last session, but the session before last. So
Right. I couldn't remember if I got a debt with them or not. Okay. Because of the dramatic irony of
no, Todd was a hallowed that was sneaking around.
Oh,
the one debt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. It's like literally right above where perfect coolness. I think Kay owes a debt to their father.
Okay. So Xavier the second.
Yes. And I think it's possibly I'm not 100% sure yet. I think that there was some sort of actually I think it's because of backtracking a little bit because his dad kind of had to clean up after, or their dad had to clean up after their mess in the woods way back when. So I think that kind of owes.
Okay. Awesome. And then who owes you a debt? Maybe someone in the Dumas family?
I think so.
You saved their hide maybe from getting found out because while they're rivals, it still would be bad for you guys if word got out about literal demon possessed people.
Yeah. Maybe it was like a drunk member and they were like kind of showing off, or rather they got mad or something and we're like, hey, guess what I can do? And they kind of like go a little bit
Yeah.
And
Let's
I'm
name
just
her Ashley.
Ashley Dumas. I love it. Perfect. I'm done. Oh, also I'm gonna
Awesome.
look up and I already know what I'm gonna pick.
Awesome.
So now Peter and I could just bounce everywhere together.
Oh, did you grab?
I
Yeah.
100% did. So it's
If
for
you would
my
explain that mechanic a little bit for the
Oh, I
fans
would
at home.
100% love to. So as one of my tainted moves, it is called Invocation, one that Peter is familiar with. You can cash in a debt with someone to appear in their presence. Others may cash in a debt with you to have you appear as well in their presence. So that's really cool.
Fantastic. That will just add to the drama. I
Yep.
love it.
I can finally use these debts to go wherever I want.
Um,
Cool.
I love that. Yeah. Anyway, Matthew, who do you trust the least?
Terrible. Who do I trust the least? I am going to say, well, he's not here, Brody.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
What factions do you have available? I'll go ahead and pick for him.
I only have Night and Power marked, so Wild or Mortality, I think.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick Mortality for you.
Okay, perfect.
What is a weakness of the mortals?
They're terribly weak and prone to corruption. I would say a weakness of the mortals is someone's gone, and they're back. Okay, doing great. Doing great.
It's just one of those Sundays, y'all.
Just gonna move absolutely everyone around again.
It's just a Sunday shuffle, you guys. Woohoo!
I'm sure
No shuffle.
the fun part is when my connection issues happen, and yep. A weakness? I mean, so wait, a weakness I've observed or like a weakness I've heard? Sorry, how does it go?
Just whatever you think. I mean, this is all just trying to stay away from convoluting the narrative outside
Understood.
of what we've already come up with. So
okay, well,
this is all homebrew.
they're not. The weakness that I think they're about to have is getting pitched off the side of a mountain. If Brody did, let me put it this way: if Brody did what I think he did, the weakness is they're about to have a lot less law enforcement in this city.
Okay, so let's phrase that in they are unprepared.
I like
for
that.
the stuff going on.
Yes,
so.
they are unprepared. Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and roll.
Okay, great. I only have a -1. It's fine. Session intro. Yeah. 5.
5. Yep. All right. So you're kind of caught flat-footed by their unpreparedness in the sense that you're not ready for the fact that they're probably going to show up here. So
fuck.
How that plays out, who knows?
There goes my pitching them off the side of mountains bit.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump down to Nox or Daphne. Who do you trust the least?
Peter's fucking ass.
Okay.
Mortality and Wild are what's open for me. So, Mr. Matt, that's
Matthew,
for you.
that means you pick.
Unless you're texting the choice to me.
No, I'm typing some shade in chat towards you. It's fine. What are your two choices? Wild.
Mortality and Wild.
Oh, Wild, baby, Wild.
Ooh.
Let's get wild. So tell me a weakness of the wild, maybe of the Fae that you're about to interact with.
Oh, shitballs. Okay.
I mean, that would be a weakness. So,
um, Mildred. Mildred is not the. There's a fracture in the Fae faction right now, and Mildred is sort of like one of those like fissure points. That makes sense. So like the crack
Okay.
goes down from her, but then it also goes down elsewhere.
the Fae are divided.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it. So give me a roll with wild. I know I sounded like a radio DJ right there, but
Oops. I clicked it twice, but they're the same.
okay.
So 10.
10. You are definitely prepared for this.
Yeah, yeah, I am. I invite this bitch over to dinner.
Yeah.
The old
Uh,
for any of this.
Yeah, you can either expound on that information or have a debt on someone in that faction. So
I will already have one debt with Mildred.
yeah, because of your web.
Yes. I'm gonna take another. Can I take out another debt on her?
Sure. Why the hell not? So okay, so you have a second debt on Mildred. So maybe
I need-
you know that there's a fissure there.
Yeah.
What's allowing you that sort of power? All right, Kay. Who do you trust the least?
Kay's already gone, sir.
Did you? Yes.
I
Right.
certainly did.
Yeah. Who hasn't gone yet? Red. Yep.
Oh, right.
It's been a day.
It's been a day. Well, I want to go with Daphne, but I haven't met Daphne, so I have to go with Peter because Peter's the one acting all Petery.
Well, as long as he doesn't peter out.
But he has that ability now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go with not trusting the Peter. No Peter on demand.
So what are your factions, my friend?
Everything but mortality isn't checked.
Okay. Isn't checked, so.
Right, I've got mortality and that's it. Checked.
So your options, Matthew, are Night, Wild, and Power.
Night, Wild, and Power?
Yeah.
Wild.
So many wild weaknesses this evening.
Metagame.
So come up with something for Mildred and her
Wild.
folk.
Mildred or the tainted. So
okay, going with that. Going back to the Dumas family then. The Dumas family has learned also about this particular affair with Xavier II. And between Xavier II and the cop Emma.
okay. So that is what would make that a weakness?
Blackmail opportunities, ways to destroy either
Maybe
one of
it's
them.
about to be exposed.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll with
That is
wild, yeah.
8. Yeah. Yay, one and a 1.
Yep. Exchange your debt.
Okay.
So you're neck deep in it, which we established last time.
Yeah, neck deep. So I owe one of them. I owe one of the Dumas family a debt because they decided to not. One of them talked another one of them to not coming after me for helping protect Kay.
All right.
And I think a double exchange too. We'll say one of the Dumas owes me something for not turning them in when they were secretly snooping around the Belton house, and I caught them.
Let's just make it Ashley, just because that gives us.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So sort of a flop of that debt. So you owe one to her, she owes one to you.
Sure, 1 and 1 for Ashley.
All right. So since we haven't introduced Alexis into the narrative, we'll go ahead and wait. But you did have one thing you wanted to square away with Red, right? A debt on your playbook.
Yeah, if it's all right with you, Red,
Of course.
I think that your character owes my character a debt for my protection.
And what is your character's name?
We'll get there.
Oh,
So
You can just put Alexis for now.
okay.
but yeah. So and then since there are 6 of us,
If that's okay with you, Max.
Of course.
Okay.
let's go ahead and roll to see who's doing the recap. 6. Well, that lands on Alexis. That
It's
doesn't really work.
Not me.
Matthew, go ahead and recap last week for us. Maybe even from Peter's perspective.
Oh, you bet. You bet. Here comes the gaslighting, folks. When we last left the city of Juneau, we had just engaged, the cast members had just engaged in several different feats of pure idiocy and insanity. Kay and Red found themselves in a tangled alliance and invited to a dinner to a figure in the mountains at the Elysium Lodge by a ghost who had apparently been stalking the Kay Belton. Excuse me. It's hard to recap in this voice. I'm good. Okay. And they made their way to the Elysium Lodge. Peter ensured also that Benji and Brody made their way to the Elysium Lodge as Daphne prepared for a legendary showdown dinner meeting with Mildred the Fae so that they could square away who was going to be running the drugs in Juneau. As those figures arrived to the Elysium Lodge, all hell broke loose as Daphne and Peter made a deal to separate Brody and Benji. Peter did this so that he could maneuver the pieces against Mildred and seal Knight's power over Juneau. Daphne made the deal because she was hungry. Benji was killed by the vampire Daphne just in time for Brody to suspect something by reading Peter's mind and for Kay and Red to arrive. And that's about where we left it, with Brody hightailing it out of there, angry and upset, Benji's corpse on the floor, and Peter pissed all to hell.
Excellently done. Yeah. So I guess we'll just pick up right there. Red and Kay, you guys are out in the foyer still, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we had Peter and Daphne, or did Peter get summoned there at the end?
I summoned him.
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct. So currently Daphne is left alone for the moment. Daphne, what do you do?
Well, first off, I wrangle myself away from my cat. Oh, fucking A. Okay. How do I feel, first of all?
You feel full, and not just full, but overly full, stuffed to the brim even. Because while mortals usually have, a fair bit of emotion and, all of that stuff that's built over life, Fae, they live a lot longer, and they've had a lot longer time to feel and develop more complex emotions and relationships with people. They're stuffed. So you've engorged yourself on Benji. You're feeling maybe even a little sluggish because of how
Great.
satisfied you are. So there's almost a bit of a glow about you too.
Great. Cool. I can't look at chat or Matt's face. I need a post-it note to put right on my monitor. Yeah, I think I just kind of yawn and stretch and shake my head, trying to like rustle away the sleepies. And I'm gonna pull back the curtain where I had Benji kind of propped up in one of these like side seating areas. I'm gonna drag his body across the floor into like a secluded closet kind of space, basically somewhere I can cram him into and close the door on him.
Okay.
And I push him into this closet, prop him up, fold his hands in his lap, caress the side of his cheek, give him a little kiss on the forehead, and say, "For insurance." And then I close the door. I walk back to my little table for two. I'm going to just to hand wave this part. Daphne's just gonna go about making sure that everything is as it should be. All the food being prepared is like running on time.
Okay.
So on and so forth.
Gotcha. So now we jump to Kay, Red, and Peter. What do you do?
What was that all about, Peter?
Just as a reminder, I am voice only right now. What was what all about?
Why did Brody just storm out of here? Like, all he said was this place wasn't to be trusted. Why would he want me to leave so fast?
Brody made some poor decisions, and so did Benji. That's why Brody wanted to leave.
Just Brody going. Where's the other guy?
He's in the happy place.
I'm sorry, he's in the what?
Especially creepy.
He's in the happy place.
I heard you. Is that like kind of your strange ghostly way of saying like the afterlife? Or like a literal like a place?
No, it's like a
Is there like a brothel down that secret door over there?
More or less what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like a place for Bachnals, dinners, and festivities.
Is this where that secret dinner that you told me about is going to take place? Because if so, I'd love to find someplace a little bit more comfortable and less like a lodge.
It's either going to take place here in the lodge or down there in the happy place. I'm betting it's the happy place.
Something about hearing the word happy place come out of your ghostly voice, that's just creepy.
It's not something I would have designed when I was alive.
Peter, since you seem to be so familiar with this place, would you mind showing us where this happy place is? Since I believe I at least am here on your invitation.
You are, but I definitely greased the wheels for you with the owner. Only she can invite people into the happy place. It's protected. But I will absolutely go speak to her on your behalf again. Because I believe she and I have some catching up to do.
I would like to use another one of my holds to ask, whose turf is this? From my snooping.
Yeah, this is Daphne's turf. So I'm gonna say, so basically, because this is your character getting that information, right?
Mm-hmm.
While this conversation's going on, there's like the front desk and stuff, and then laying like face up is this business card that says like Elysium Lodge owner Daphne. So you pick that up and take a look at it. So you were saying, sorry, Nox, you want to do your opening move?
Yeah. Oh my god, cat!
What a cat! Oh my god.
She's like rubbing her face into the mic. At one point, she like flopped over, knocked my water bottle, hit the key, closed Twitch chat. She's like
the best.
Yeah, she's like off the chain right now. So I want to get a secret.
So it's a secret you have somebody in your web. So somebody you have a debt with.
Yes, Peter. I want a secret about Peter. So, Mr. Peter. So it's give him just a secret that you'd rather keep buried.
Okay. I guess. You know. People. You know, people don't believe me when I say it, but no. Here's Peter's secret. Here's the most interesting thing I can say I haven't said on screen. I want Juneau to be protected, and I want it under my control. That's why I'm not moving on.
Oh.
Because I like being a specter.
Okay, that's it. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, so Peter is heading off down back to the happy house or happy place.
Yeah. If Kay and Rafney Red are okay with that.
Ruh-roh. It's Rafney.
Ray and
That was my
Rafney.
stage name back in college.
I'm just gonna say, just sit tight and honor the things that you owe me. I promise I am trying to do the right thing here.
The right thing for who, Peter?
For the city.
If you say so.
And I'm gonna float away my disembodied voice.
And we don't see him leave!
A few seconds go by. Peter? Peter?
So Peter, anyway, so what is this place? Who runs it? Peter.
She's a vampire. And then I float away.
Okay. So while Peter's floating away invisibly, a stark white Cadillac Escalade pulls up. With two sort of nondescript black sedans on the rear and the front of it, sort of escorting it. And out of the front steps one of these sort of nondescript white males that we've established previously that are Mildred's guard. Opens the one side door, opens, and Mildred in a sort of eggshell white power suit steps out. Her hair is flowing long now. And following her is Alexis, if you'd like to introduce your character.
Yes. So, getting out of the car with Mildred is a tall, lithe woman with fair but looks like maybe somewhat sun and weathered skin and hair in some large braids. She is wearing dark but close fit clothing, a leather corset, looks, not power suit, but dressed for, functional bodyguard type, but dressed for the function. Nicely dressed, but functionally dressed.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Mildred sort of steps up into the stairs into the foyer where currently Kay and Peter or Red are waiting. She kind of gives Red a nod. And I don't think you and Mildred have met yet, have you, Kay?
I have no idea who this person is.
She gives you a look up and down, extends a hand.
Okay, returns
Mildred.
the gesture with the eyes and with the hands.
Her hand is that sort of power play limp, though.
Yeah. I think Kay definitely recognizes this.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Not sure I was informed that we were hosting so much company, but
Oh,
I brought my own just in case.
You're here for the meeting then as well.
I am the meeting. And
Hmm.
she steps aside and sort of puts a hand and says, "Introduce yourself, my dear."
Good evening. My name is Tori. You want to keep yourselves in line.
I do.
This
Nice
is
to meet you all. Sorry, been told manners are a thing I need to pay attention to. Tori, hold my hand out. No?
Kay
Okay,
looks at-
great.
Cool.
Do I know that I'd be aware that I owe her a debt? So have I met her? Or was it one of those stopped me from getting attacked when I didn't notice it?
I think you'd be aware.
Okay,
So
that's what I'm good at being.
you two sort of know each other at least somewhat.
Good
But
to see you again.
You staying alive there, Red?
I hold up my hand with my fingers taped together, and you can see the fading black eye and go, well enough.
Par for the course.
Kay kind of raises an eyebrow towards Red, like this whole exchange, and says, Red, you've been keeping some interesting company lately.
You ask questions, you meet interesting people. Some of them don't beat you up.
Some of them keep you alive.
Yeah, some of them stop you from getting beat up. So hey, it's I'm cool with her. I'm just gonna. I don't actually really know. I got invited here by the ghost and
oh, Peter,
something.
right?
Hey, when you were driving in here, did you happen to see a beat up old El Camino riding down the road?
I'm sure one of us did, but I wasn't really paying attention to that. Are you the welcome party, or
Oh no,
are
we're
we just
attending this meeting as
waiting?
well. Never usually. We are simply waiting for our hostess.
Brilliant.
I
and I think
think-
we'll cut there to Peter and Daphne. So, because Peter's making his way back down to you. So,
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I was like, wait, what?
yeah. So, Peter's the disembodied voice still.
Daphne.
Pizza?
Yes.
You've done that again. What?
Yeah, I had to because of your choices.
Do you have something to say?
Mildred is almost here. And I need to make sure that you are still going to honor our deal.
Remind me what the deal was.
To ally and take control of this thing in the name of the night faction. You and me, we're gonna run this shit.
Oh, are we both night faction? I'm the worst player.
Come on, Knox.
Okay, got it. I don't actually remember why I'm meeting with Mildred. So.
To settle the matter of who's going to run the drug trade, and she wants to put you under her thumb, but I am saying that you can put her under your thumb.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think I just lean back against the bar that faces sort of this main area where the table for two is sat. And I just kind of lean back on my elbows, look up at the ceiling, which is like this sort of like draped tent interior with a hanging candelabra. Don't worry about me, Peter.
I do worry about you. I had this whole thing sewn up, and then you went and got hungry. You have jeopardized everything. Brody's racing down the mountain back to Juneau proper, has probably called the cops. We've got maybe a half hour before the fucking Juneau Police Department shows up and busts us all, there are going to end up being a lot of dead cops if that happens.
What is your point?
My point is you can't very well run a drug empire in this town if you cause too much chaos. There are bigger threats than the police force in the world.
First of all, how long do you think I've been alive? Do you think this is my first fucking tango with the law?
You may be willing to just pack up and leave, like you have from whatever old country you crawled out of. But god damn it, that's not what I want. So if you were going to work with me, if we were going to have a deal, and this just can't be a vacation for you.
Why don't you join me for dinner, Peter?
Your choices have made it impossible. I'm going to stay in this form. But I will be here.
Peter, as part of my agreement with you, why don't you join us for dinner? I want to cash in my debt with Peter.
Okay.
Are you going to allow her to cash in that debt?
Yes, I do believe
Okay.
I will.
So
You're-
that move.
Also out of my web as a result.
Thank God.
But it's super easy to get right back on in it.
Don't trust me. I'm sure I'll be in and out. Like one of those doors you just go in, you revolving door.
Basically.
That's me.
Yeah. So what are you asking Peter to do? Do a favorite moderate cost, lend a hand, get in the way, answer question.
I want Peter to join the dinner corporeally.
I'd say that's a favorite of moderate cost, yeah.
It puts me at great risk. So what I'll say is, this is going to put me at great risk. But just remember, there's not a soul being invited to this dinner that can get rid of me permanently. So if I die, if someone kills me, I'm only going to come back
Great.
angrier and more powerful. And I will manifest all three. I will mark a corruption to do so.
Mm-hmm. And you both mark knight if those aren't marked faction-wise.
Oh.
So,
yeah. Thank you for those reminders because I keep forgetting about that part.
oh, that's pretty much my only job. So,
Perfect.
I'm a shitster and mechanic reminder.
I am not far from another corruption move.
When Peter manifests fully, I'm gonna look at him from toe to head and smile, give him a little wink. Much better.
Never in a million years.
Oh god, it's so hard to keep a straight face.
All right. And so about that time, you get a notification from one of your employees that your guest has arrived.
Look at my phone. Perfect timing. Well, unfortunately, I did not plan for so many guests. So just grab a chair and pull it up or stand somewhere and look creepy like you're good at doing. But Mildred is here. And I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna text like some of the like security people or whatever that work at the lodge. And ask them to go escort the Fey lady to the front door of the happy house, and I'll walk up to the top of the steps to go get her.
While she moves up there to the top of the steps, I'm going to look around. What is the heaviest object in this room? And is it her coffin?
I don't sleep down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'd say There's probably a large, I want to say like a sofa or something down here, probably.
Okay. Is there like a fridge?
Here, I'll describe the area for you.
Yeah, please.
So think of like some combination of like Greek Moroccan themed place. So a lot of poofs. There's like a central area. There's a bar, just kind of like that faces the central area. That's where the table for two is at. But there are like various like overstuffed pieces of furniture, heavy, low wooden tables, ornately carved, brightly colored. So yeah, there's quite a couple things you could go checking around if you wanted to.
Perfect. I just needed one or two. Thanks.
Oh goodness. All right. So the people upstairs, you all are greeted by two security folk, and they escort you to the happy house or happy place. Happy house, right? Yeah. So eventually you all are in the same room.
For the first time in forever.
So Daphne, what are you doing as they enter?
So I would be at the front door. I would open it. See Mildred. Mildred has come to the door of the happy house with Tori, I assume.
Yes, and Red and Kay in tow as well.
Daphne looks past Mildred's shoulder. Oh, you've brought +4s? I don't recall. I thought this was just you and I. Did I misunderstand something?
Well, I brought extras because it seems like at least you or your associate, and she gestures to Peter, who's probably somewhere in the room, have lined up some friends for the evening. So,
well, it's been a while since I've had a bacchanal down here, so perhaps we will have an informal one. I only have a table for the two of us, but the rest of you, and I'll look at Tori, Kay, and Red, you are all welcome to take a seat wherever you feel most comfortable, and thankfully, there will be plenty of food, and the bar is open, and if I may, inside of the pipes, you will find some premium grade opium. Help yourself. And then I will walk to the table for two.
There's an adult table and a kids table.
Well, there's there's like a table for two, like a round table that's like kind of seated in the middle. And then there's all these like side areas that are sort of like curtained off slightly. Mm-hmm. Not completely like sheltered away, but just for like to create like a cozy, intimate sort of environment. And so there's all of those little side areas, and then like some couches off on a corner. There's only the table for two for Mildred and Daphne. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Mildred turns to Tori and just kind of stay close, but feel free to indulge, darling.
Well done.
Make nice.
I'll try.
What are you doing, Red?
I'd like to use my last hold on snooping.
Okay.
And I'd like to know what happened here recently.
That's
the only thing I'm good at.
I mean, he could be snooping around and like gently open the thing and see Benji's dead body.
Yeah, everyone seems to be distracted by this intense energy between Daphne and Mildred at the moment.
So I back up by the closet door.
Yeah, and you just fumble it open, and there's you peek in, and there's Benji.
I close the door.
So, yeah. All right. So first, the children are gonna go off and make nice while the adults are talking. It seems. So Daphne, it's you and Mildred at the table. What do you do?
Whew, uh, table set very nicely. I think around this point, like we sit down, I'm gonna bring a bottle of wine, pour Mildred's glass, pour myself a glass, set it on the middle table. Some people come from the top, they bring small plates of food. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to partake in a midday dinner, but it is one of my favorite ways to eat. So I hope you like all of the things that have been prepared. And if you don't, please let me know. And if there is anything else I can get you to drink, the bar is right there, and I'm so happy to serve you. But I'm so glad you're here, and I cannot wait for us to get to know each other and talk about ways that we both can benefit each other's operations.
She kind of gives you a wry smile and just puts a hand out and grabs yours on the table. This is pleasant. You've done well for yourself, Daphne. Appreciate your invitation. It's not so often that us upper echelon folk of our trade get to get out and enjoy ourselves for an evening. So this is pleasant, and I'm sure whatever you have to serve is definitely going to be worthwhile this evening. I am famished. I don't know about you. Sorry, I had to.
Well, as you know about my kind, I am always somewhat famished. But I have very particular tastes, so you'll have to excuse me if I don't join you as much, but I will certainly nibble here and there.
Of course. And forgive me if I'm forward, but it's almost unkind of us to get down to business first. Then we can